Guys, in this video I'm going to talk about the environmental analysis, its process, and the importance of environmental analysis, and as well as the techniques of environmental analysis. Now let's talk about the environmental analysis. Environmental analysis is the environmental analysis is the studying the internal and external factor that will be helpful to identify the opportunities and threats of the business. It will be helpful for the organizations, as well as it will be helpful for the managers for decision making or for taking decisions that what is happening in the future is known as environmental analysis. And there must be a four process of environmental analysis. This process should be taken step by steps, and the first one is the first process or stage of environmental analysis is scanning and monitoring. Forecasting and assessing. And in this scanning means the taking the informations or ideas about the business is known as scanning. And monitoring means auditing the environment, auditing these collected data and information, which is known as monitoring. And third one is forecasting, and forecasting means predict the future trend, that what will be happening in the future is known as predicting. And the last one is assessing means the evaluating the opportunity and threat that will be affect the business is known as assessing. Now let's take now we are talking about the importance of environmental analysis. The importance of environmental analysis are it helps to identify the opportunities and threats. And it helps in the determinations of the strength and weakness of the business, as well as it helps to identify the competitive advantage also. It helps in the strategy for formulations and strategic fit, as well as strategic implementation. These are the importance of the environmental analysis. Now we are going to talk about the techniques or methods of the environmental analysis. There are three techniques of environmental analysis. They are phase lake analysis, scenario planning, and Potter's 5 force model. In this video I am going to talk about the scenario planning. And the scenario means the possible future trend is known as scenario. And the concept of the scenario of the business of forecasting the business is developed by the Royal Dutch. And the scenario is the carefully drafted story of the future that involves the ideas and information that will be helpful and that will be communicable for the business is known as scenario planning. And there now I am going to talk about the feature of the scenario plannings. Some of the features of the scenario plannings, it is future oriented, it is continuous process, and the build the long term views. And it also helps in it is uncertain handling. And support the top management activities. um, Support the top management activities. These are the features of the scenario planning. Now I am going to talk about the process and procedures of the scenario planning. The first steps is to first steps of the scenario planning is to um, identify the factors. And the second one, we have to develop the scenario. Third, we have to evaluate the impacts. And analyze or evaluate the impact is the third steps of the scenario planning. And fourth one, we have to implement the strategy or develop the strategy is the fourth one. And the last one is monitor and revise is the process of the scenario planning. In the next video I'm going to talk about the Potter's 5 4 models and the um, POTOS 54 models and competitors analysis. Thank you so much. Hope you like this video. Okay.